Bon après-midi and bienvenue to another public service announcement from My Frequencies. You know that prickly character you can't seem to shake from your life? Bad news, guys. They're a reflection of you. Part of you you've temporarily disowned. If you were to uproot your entire life and move to another continent, they would simply follow you, or more likely, the problematic relationship would manifest in some new form, because ultimately it's you you're resisting. The good thing about this is, that person you secretly admire and look up to and wish you could be more like, that's you too. You just don't fully realise it yet. If only I could do what they did to become... No, you have that thing inside you right now. The ego loves finding fault with others. But we mustn't forget, we cannot perceive something in someone else which doesn't reside in ourselves, even if we are unconscious of the fact. This is clearly evidenced when a friend is criticising a mutual acquaintance for their behaviour. You don't find anything wrong with how the person in question is acting, and yet your friend is clearly triggered. Why? Because they do not accept the part of themselves which is being reflected back to them. One of the keys to understanding the journey to personal enlightenment is understanding this idea that everything we perceive is a part of ourselves asking for reassimilation. One of the fastest ways not only to dissolve suffering but to progress our spiritual development is to become okay with unpleasant or downright uncomfortable situations and relationships. Does this mean then to accept the unacceptable? Not at all. The way you handle something unacceptable to which you've relinquished all resistance is a quantum leap away from how you handle something unacceptable which you are still actively resisting. Face that fear, see it for what it really is, and then watch it vanish in a puff of smoke, as the unconscious element of your fragmented self it represents is absorbed back into the totality of who and what you are, what you were before you fragmented and assumed your present physical form. I love all my trolls because they're teaching me so much about myself every single day. They give me the opportunity to confront, accept, and to one day ultimately come to love something else about myself. That is true healing. I also love the fact that just by being myself and expressing my uniqueness, I'm teaching to and helping others to grow, even if sometimes it's just by pissing them off. One of the biggest goals with YouTube for me was expressing the way I see the world and how I fit myself, somewhat awkwardly, into it. In some ways I'm amazed at how few trolls my channel has attracted, but I put this down to the simple fact that I'm 100% honest when I speak. Honesty is like kryptonite to a troll, because honesty means strength, and trolls only know how to attack perceived weaknesses. Speak your truth, stand your ground when challenged, and I promise you they will either come to accept and respect your newfound uniqueness, even though they may not necessarily understand it, or they will quickly slink off into obscurity never to be heard of again. A perfectly externally expressed metaphor for the incremental advances made internally as we awaken deeper and deeper into the reality of who and what we ourselves are. Even when we express a controversial viewpoint, intelligence recognizes intelligence, and it never trolls itself. Indeed, it enjoys being challenged. Does this mean intelligent people can't be trolls then? No, but intelligence isn't a latent quality. Not only does it come in many different forms, but it can be with someone one moment and gone the next. Wow, I just love looking at these pictures from the Hubble Space Telescope. Oh my god, someone said they're fake! Especially when they've just been triggered. I'm also not afraid to be frank with exactly where my knowledge on any given topic runs out. And it's especially important to remain humble when you're channeling information that you have no business knowing about in your limited physical form. This approach means you're more likely than not to leave things open to debate, and I find that the few would-be trolls just become curious commenters at that point. They want to hear more, as opposed to blindly attacking the last thing you just said. It hasn't always been this easy for me, of course. When I first began publicly breaking out of the mould, so to speak, I did so on a well-known personal data gathering and thought harvesting site, where my output was potentially being monitored by several hundred people who actually knew me, or at least believed they'd known a former version of me. Different people have different levels before they become triggered. Some will react angrily to a public post. Some send private messages to almost give you the benefit of the doubt before they write you off as completely insane. Some people just quietly unfriend you, and others still remain friends, at least as far as Facebook understands the definition of the word, secretly wishing to themselves they had a clue what you were talking about. It's worth knowing that if you're the oddball in your family or friendship group, or you're the vegan, the flat earther, or the anarchist, the activist, the reason people variously ostracize or attack you has nothing to do with you at all. You just represent something they have hidden deep within inside themselves that they believe they can pacify by winning an argument with you. Trust me, I've adopted a lot of different positions over the years. Personal experience is surely the deepest form of understanding, and I've heard it all, and I'm still me. What I want viewers of My Frequencies to know, if you don't already, is that if you watch my channel and you get it, you, my friend, are the shit. If you can recognise the Orwellian levels of hive mind and doublethink evidenced across all mainstream social media platforms, this one included, then you can feel at home on this channel. If you feel like the whole world is ploughing merrily over the precipice whilst kidding itself that the same level of awareness which helped to create these problems can somehow fix them, then we're on the same page. If you feel like you're the only one who sees the Emperor's balls swinging in the breeze, whilst everyone else is too busy admiring his new clothes, then let me reassure you, you are not alone. Welcome home, my child. Welcome home. Once again, much love to everyone who needed to hear this message. Stay tuned to this frequency for more.